It is a proud privilege to sit next to Dr. Thomas Abraham. He is founder and presently the chairman of Global Organization of People of Indian Origin. He is based in USA, but his love for India has always been there since he left the country many decades back. Let's talk to Dr. Thomas Abraham and find out what inspires him to work tirelessly for this organization, GOPIO, and what inspires him to still be a proud Indian citizen. Dr. Thomas Abraham, welcome to Vision Television. And it is such a great pleasure that you have had a busy schedule and still we could cram this interview. What inspired him to form GOPIO in the first place?
Well, GOPIO started much later, but I went to United States in the early 70s. I was a graduate of Malaviya National Institute of Technology in Jaipur. I came all the way from Kerala. When I came to Jaipur, I could not understand Hindi. I could not understand English because it was all Malayalam medium. But then I picked up, and then after I finished my metallurgy degree, I got a fellowship to go to United States at Columbia University for doing my master's and PhD. And then it so happened that when I was in New York, that was a time when the migration of Indians were happening. As students, doctors, engineers, they were all coming to USA. And it so happened that Columbia University, we had the India Club of Columbia, which exhibited Bollywood films. Because people were away from the country, there was nothing to connect, hardly any newspapers, no news coming, especially some small news comes in New York Times at that time, whether there is a flood or something like that, some negative news. Then the Bollywood films was the only one. So that we showed Bollywood films every week, and Indians who were migrating at that time came to see that. But that was the beginning of my involvement in the Indian community as the president of India Club of Columbia University. We had a lot of programs for the Indians coming at that time. Then as years, within 1 year, I decided, I took the initiative to form the Federation of Indian Association, because we already by the time we have all the regional groups, the Punjabis, the Bengalis, the Malayalis, Telugu, everybody came forward with their own groups. So we formed this Federation of Indian Association, which is in fact the largest regional based group in every city. We have FIA, Federation of Indian Association, and the one in New York organizes the largest India Day parade outside India. Almost like 250,000 people come to on the parade, and that was provided an opportunity to provide an exposure of the new community in America, and that made it easy for us to go to the next venture. And by 1980, we wanted to see the Indian community exert some pressure on American lawmakers. There were issues with the government of India or India, USA and India on nuclear fuel at that time. I am talking in early 1980, 98. So we formed we called up a national convention, and which formed the National Federation of Indian Association, which was a pressure group like Jewish community has and other communities have. But of course, then we got organized very well in America, and one contributing factor was that the people who went from here were highly educated, and they had the highest income already. Within a few years, within 10-15 years, they were on the top in terms of professionals, the most highly educated. Then we found that suddenly that our Indians their human rights were violated in several countries, in Trinidad, in Guyana, Fiji, where an elected government was thrown out. I'm talking 1980s, 88. And then of course apartheid was still there in South Africa, where the blacks and Indians were also discriminated. So, and even in the United States, there was an issue where there was some human rights violation. So one person got killed. There is a gang called Dot Buster. They were going after our Indian community because our Indian women have something, the bindi on their dot. They call it dot, bindi on their forehead. So they said, we are dot busters and we are going to hit upon the Indian community people. And one person got killed too. So we reached out to our community worldwide. We called the first convention of Indians in America, basically to correct the human rights violation of our people, civil rights violations. So we called people, about 3,000 people came in a convention in New York where GOPIO was formed. And Government of India saw an opportunity where the people in different countries, in the USA, UK, get organized themselves, and also they are reaching out to their lawmakers so that we can bring a partnership, India and the overseas Indian community, and wherever such issues come up, we jointly work on to correct the situation. And I am happy to say that after that 1989 formation of GOPIO, within 5-6 years, we managed to get our community in the Indian community in the mainstream of politics, in terms of our person coming back as President of Guyana, Prime Minister of Trinidad, and Prime Minister of Fiji. So that was accomplished. That was our original mission, to make sure that our community is in the mainstream politics of the countries where they live.
You travel as a student to USA from Columbia University as a student, as a senior student doing masters and PhD, and then it transformed your love for India and your interest in the social justice for Indians who are living in that country or other in nearby countries, Trinidad, Tobago, or in Australia or in other parts of the world where Indians were residing, bringing them together. How tough was that?
It was difficult in the sense that remember, in the IT revolution never happened till at that time. It was so expensive to make telephone calls. I remember in 70s to make a call to India was $3 per minute, and also to get a connection to India. I mean, you may get a connection to Delhi or Bombay, but if you want to get a connection to Trivandrum or some other parts of India, you had to book, place a call, wait till to the telephone number on the near the telephone till the operator calls back saying that okay, your connection is all going through. Usually it takes as much as 5-6 hours or even one full day to get a connection back to India. So it was very expensive to get connected. But then what we did was that at that time the only way we could do to convince people to come, to go to those countries. So we had teams of people going to different parts of the world. I covered all the European countries. We sent some other group to the all Caribbean countries, some other people to Far East. So it was a great effort. It was tough, but we managed to get it done.
What kept you motivating for all these? Working for a few decades is fine. It's almost 4.5 decades, more than that.
Well, my basic commitment is to India. And that's why I still keep my Indian citizenship. That, India needs our help. Especially India has a lot of problems. We are talking, we have more than 400 million people still below poverty, and education of the people. And we wanted to mobilize the community in whatever way we can to issues of India, whether it is social justice, whether it is education, whether now we are looking other avenues where we can help, where we can transfer new technologies to India. The diaspora community has played a major role in terms of transforming India. I mean, our people have come, people like Sam Pitroda came in the 80s to do the communication revolution. Then several others keep on coming, and the commitment is there, and we want to create that interest because India has to play its role in the world. We are 1.3 billion people, and we have not reached to that level. Although I think lately with the Prime Minister Modi has taken a lot of new initiatives to go into the right direction. But everybody need to help. If we want to take care of our basic problems of the country, people have to be involved. And my commitment was that, I got free education from India, and I want to see what I can do back for my own people back in India.
We have talked about the issues within India, that when you have gone abroad and tried to be aligned with the issues, with the poverty, with the deprivation, and with the need that India wanted. But what was the global community expecting from India over all these many years that you must have come across?
Well, they were not expecting in monetary terms or anything like that. They felt, especially the migrants to USA, Canada, Australia or UK, basically most of those people who migrated to that place those countries got free education. We are talking IITs, NITs, engineering colleges, medical colleges. So there was a feeling that they need to contribute back there. So that commitment had been there. But again, even though people feel that they need to help back in India, you need to have some people to motivate them. Because the community is large, it is spread around different parts of the world. As well as within the country. In different, USA is a large country. It has people in small cities, small towns and large cities. Until and unless we bring them together, and that is what we did. Starting in the 70s, we try to bring them to a common platform. Then we can discuss how we can get involved jointly together, and also that provide platforms for Indian officials as well as people who do lot of great work in India, whether it is in education or social justice or whatever. We bring them and then interact with them so that they can be motivated. The people can be motivated to help, whether contributing to good causes or even spending their time and whatever. So that is what we have done to provide a platform and bring them together.
GOPIO has not only been recognized by Government of India, the Pravasi Bharatiya Department of External Affairs in the Ministry of External Affairs. Government of India has been very much aware about Dr. Thomas Abraham's work, and they have been facilitating you over a period of time, and you also take your time to come to India and participate during the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas.
Well, I have attended all the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. In fact, it was our idea when we did in 1989, when 3,000 people came, and Government of India fully supported that. At that time, Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister, and he became the honorary patron of the convention. He sent a large delegation headed by the late Madhavrao Scindia. So from that time onwards, we have been cooperating, and when Vajpayee administration came in 2002, and or earlier, they put out a study on a detailed study with a commission headed by L.M. Singhvi. So they went around and they submitted that report, and they decided to organize the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. It was similar to what we did 14 years earlier, and we said that's good because the Government of India has more resources. We were all a voluntary organization, and we cooperate. We cooperate in terms of what topics to be discussed, what issues to be taken up. So we work very closely with Government of India, and we are happy that Government of India has been doing the annual Pravasi Divas. Of course, now it has become every 2 years. We would have preferred that Pravasi Divas is every year, but they also have many Pravasi Divas in different parts of the world. So that gives an ongoing dialogue with Government of India. A large number of NRIs and PIOs coming, and Government of India has also been very good in terms of issuing overseas Indian citizenship for people living outside, those who have become citizens of other countries or those who are children of people who have migrated. So those kind of things are very, very positive. Remember, now we are 30 million people, and that 30 million people are so much resources, professional resources, financial resources, and if we can tap them and get them involved in India's development, I tell you there is nothing better than that. Chinese diaspora did extensive support for China to come up China. That was the last 2 decades back. But Indian community now, you look at the engineering and technology. There is no ethnic community in the world other than the Indian community who holds or access all the new technologies. And there is an engineering solution to any major problem, whether it is street cleaning or keeping clean the streets or Swachh Bharat or anything. There is an engineering solution. Bring the best brains from the overseas Indian community, because they have already experienced. So if you bring them, not only we can take care of the problem, but let's go ahead for the future. I think India has to leapfrog into new generation technologies. Let's not go for whatever traditional technologies we had. We have opportunity to leapfrog to the new generation technologies, and that can be done by involving our people outside who are already in the technology field. Some of them are doing cutting edge research and technologies. Let's implement those research and technologies by attracting them and starting in India itself. Let's leapfrog before even other countries.
So your own personal company is also into research and heavily into very advanced research and development. Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Well, my own background is material science, but in the 90s, suddenly I see these nanoparticles, which were all the ceramic particles, and I was an expert on advanced ceramics. When I saw this coming, I could see something new coming up, because all the national labs in United States and university labs were all producing nano powders, very nano-sized ceramic powders. Then I detailed, next stage was to study this, what is the use of these powders, and 1998 I put together the worldwide conference on nanotechnology, nanomaterials. Then the whole nanotechnology took off. It became a buzzword. And nanotechnology is really affecting the whole civil, all the community, all the people now. You look at your cell phone, all the chips are manufactured by nano manufacturing. All your computers, everything is nano manufacturing. Is do you for chips, so that you get much better memory, much better efficiency. Otherwise, you can't make these tiny devices. So in every area, in healthcare. So in my company, which is called Innovative Research and Products, I started on my own about 10 years back. I was previously working for a company as the director of advanced materials research, looking at new cutting edge technologies. And I did industry and market analysis, as well as state of the new generation technologies. So I am aware of all new generation technologies. Now the thing is, which is going is, we are all connected by internet. So Internet of Things, you need a whole lot of sensors, oscillators, everything to back up and provide automation in. So I took a look at all these technologies, and that is where I am coming to the point of why India should jump in. Go into the select areas. The information is already available. We need certain companies who take the initiative to go and start these kind of manufacturing devices for Internet of Things, or medical devices, or even in
Space technology. Chandrayaan is an example of that.
Yes, in every area. So the thing is that right now there are opportunities in not, but they need a technology czar who should look into the technology, what areas we need to get in different, in every area there is a technology where we can get in, and the informations are available. In the sense that we don't need to do lot of applied and basic research, because that thanks to the internet, the revolution, everything is available. Then you do selectively some areas where you need to perfect the manufacturing or technology you want to start or launch. So if people are smart, we can do that, and we have a lot of smart scientists and engineers in India who could be motivated to get into these technologies.
Having seen the US economy and the government working there, and keeping touch with Indian government and the industry, corporate world in India. What do you prefer? What should be the right mix? Whether technology or the development and research and development should be left to the corporates or to the government? How much government intervention, if not interfere, maybe not be the right word. Intervention should be. In your perspective, what is the right mix that government of India and the corporates in India should work, and how to take what you said, that innovations and the research is already there. You need to take it to the next higher level.
Government has to have heavy involvement, otherwise nothing is going to happen. But we have to make sure that the people who work in those areas provide result, deliver results. I see a lot of CSIR labs. CSIR labs is status quo, nothing moving forward. See, we need them to perform. And even the universities, whether it is IITs or any other Indian Institute of Science, we need people to deliver. See, what I see in when sometimes, although when I compare an IIT is not come up to the stage of a state funded school in USA, because there is no incentive for them to bring any new technology. Now the government rules have to be changed. See, the professors who work and bring some new technologies should be given incentive as well as financial support through some fund, so that they can go out and experiment. I mean, they may fail, doesn't matter. At least they can come back. Those kind of opportunities should be provided. And even in terms of if somebody has a good invention in an IIT or CSIR, they should have a stake in that invention. Government cannot own all of it. And USA, the people who work, they have all the opportunity to own that invention. And these are the kind of things which create incentive for people to go for new things.
You mean to say intellectual property needs to be strengthened, rights needs to be strengthened, and government has to fund those, because one Facebook or one Google, there may be one, but there may have 1,000 which may have failed.
Yes, but that is where government's role is, that the funding must be given. That is the benefit of the larger society as well as Indian society. But the people who bring that invention should have some stake. Government doesn't have to own all the inventions. US government provide funding, but the people who do the invention, they have opportunity to go out and make a business out of it. So those incentives need to be provided. In terms of corporation, what I see, Indian corporation, their attitude is that, oh, let's go and buy the technology. I mean, and they don't put enough. There are some corporations still doing, the larger one, but basically Indian companies are not putting enough effort into applied research to get some new technology out, and they have to do that. And in addition to that, there has to be, in every big university, IIT and other places, there should be a opportunity for youngsters to go and experiment themselves. There are some areas now, locations where such opportunities are there, but the more funding need to be provided.
GOPIO is not only interested in doing socio-cultural engineering, they are also getting into the commerce part of it. Let's find out from Dr. Abraham, what is it all about that you are getting into? From socio-cultural aspect, you are getting into the hardcore business and commerce now.
Well, what we have done is that we have launched what is called GOPIO International Chamber of Commerce, GICC. That Indian diaspora worldwide, out of the 30 million people, we own as much as 3 million businesses. You may not know, but people may not know, the hospitality industry in America is run by Indians. We have 40% of all the hotels, motels owned by Indian community. And we have an engineering firm in Silicon Valley. We have a lot of initiated big companies, small companies, consulting firm, people providing services to city and various cities and states in terms of disposal of waste, waste disposal, then water management. So we decided that we will launch this Chamber of Commerce, GOPIO International Chamber of Commerce. Unlike other chambers like Indo-US Chamber of Commerce or Indo-British Chamber of Commerce, where the larger companies are interested or involved. If it is Indo-US Chamber of Commerce, we have Microsoft, General Electric, and other companies, and Infosys or Tata Group. But here we are talking diaspora business, and it's a huge, and it is untouched. So we are going to have neighborhood chambers of commerce in every city, in every state, and all over the world. So once you look at the potential, and once we do connected with the chambers of commerce, our local chambers of commerce worldwide will connect with Indian businesses. Our purpose is to connect them with Indian business, because there will be more synergy and new synergy in terms of doing business together. So we hope that this will be a major achievement, and ultimately it will help India.
One last question, your personal reflection. How does it feel coming back to India, thinking about India, and run GOPIO for decades altogether, been away from India, and still for 4.5 decades you have tried to network Indian and people of Indian origin worldwide? How does you reflect it?
Well, I'm going to the next stage of activities. In fact, I've been coming here every year, 2 or 3 times in a year, but I do see a lot of opportunity. Even around GOPIO, we are now expanding in India, because lot of our people are coming and retiring back, and our children are coming back here to Bangalore, Noida, Gurgaon, and other Hyderabad. So they are coming and taking up jobs in big companies. There have been American companies are sending them back here, and then they are also getting married here. They are studying in medical school here. So there is a reverse migration also now taking place. People coming here, and I do see opportunity in terms of more connection between overseas Indians and Indians in India, and that's why we have a Delhi chapter, Delhi NCR chapter. We are starting. We already have in Bombay, Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, Kochi, Bangalore, and we are starting in Noida, in Meerut, and several other cities. So what we hope is that, because using this platform of Indians interested in overseas Indians, especially those returned NRIs and people who have back connection with NRIs, a lot of our children are students going to USA, Canada, their parents, they have interest in our setup of GOPIO. So we are bringing them together, but our ultimate aim is that the chapters outside and India chapters work together. Wherever there is an USA chapter or Canada chapter wants to get involved in a project in any city, it would make it easy, because we have a local contact. So there will be more exchange of ideas, as well as even we want our youngsters to come and go for youth exchange program. USA people from youngsters from Indian USA people in USA coming to India, and of course our chapter should take care of when they travel around. Something like No India program, which Government of India is doing, but on a private our platform we also want to do, so that there will be more interaction and the joint effort. It's a partnership. So we want to bring both Indians in India, as well as to have closer relation with people living outside. And in this new partnership, there will be more synergy, and new things will happen to improve upon how we can help India for its development.
It reminds me of Swami Vivekananda, who went almost 200 years back, more than almost 150 years back to USA, and flew Indian flag, talk about religion, talk about Hinduism, talk about Indian culture and ethos. And people like Thomas Abraham, who has been in USA for 4.5 decades, he is trying to bring the Indian closer to their motherland. What more we can expect, sir? Thank you in your endeavor, and I hope GOPIO does even a lot better in all other parts of the world and in India.
Thank you, Pranav. It's wonderful to speak to your viewers.
Thank you.